Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into how physical retail is getting a massive, high-tech facelift powered by AI and the Internet of Things. If you thought the traditional retail model was just standing still, well, you are in for quite a surprise today.
For years, we've heard the exact same story, right? E-commerce is the undisputed king, and brick-and-mortar stores are basically dinosaurs just waiting for the meteor. But the data we're looking at today paints a completely different and honestly way more fascinating picture. We are literally witnessing a digital renaissance. To figure out how this is happening, here's our roadmap. We'll cover the physical retail renaissance, check out Vusion's record-breaking 2025, look at the power of partnerships, compare that with Sotek's contrasting financial reality, touch on decarbonizing physical retail, and then wrap up with the future of commerce. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, the physical retail renaissance.
Here's the deal. Even with everyone buying stuff on their phones, physical stores still handle about 80% of all transactions. But to stay alive, they've had to adapt fast. Notice the shift happening here. Retailers aren't just selling stuff on static shelves anymore. They're actually turning their locations into hyper-local, super-efficient e-commerce hubs. Because a store is already sitting right in your neighborhood, it can offer a cool in-person experience while simultaneously acting as a lightning-fast fulfillment center for online orders. It's a total win-win. So, how do they actually pull this off? It all comes down to AI-powered connected commerce. It basically mashes up the speed of the digital world with the tangible reality of your local shop. We're talking about putting electronic smart labels right on the shelves, using AI cameras to monitor stock in real time, and using the Internet of Things to tie every single product back to the cloud.
Moving on to Section 2, Vusion's record-breaking 2025.
It's one thing to talk theory, but let's look at the actual numbers for the global leader in this space, VusionGroup. Just look at this hypergrowth curve from 2012 to 2025. That right there is a textbook hockey stick. It shows you in real time how major retailers are waking up to the fact that digital infrastructure isn't just some fancy add-on anymore. It is absolutely do or die.
To put some hard numbers on that, Vusion hit a staggering 1.527 billion euros in adjusted revenue for 2025. That's a massive 51% jump. And what's even crazier, their value-added services, which is basically the high-margin software and data analytics they layer over their hardware, literally doubled. Retailers aren't just buying the smart labels, they're buying into the entire digital ecosystem. And the momentum just keeps building. Their order intake skyrocketed to 1.7 billion euros across their base of 350 global customers. We're not talking about a handful of cute little pilot programs here. These are systemic, massive rollouts across thousands and thousands of store locations around the world. Just listen to what Vusion CEO Thierry Gadou had to say about it. He points out that Walmart's huge rollout confirms just how incredibly well their EdgeSense platform performs on a global scale. I mean, think about it. When the biggest retailer on the planet decides to wire up its supercenters with your tech, that pretty much sets the definitive standard for everyone else.
All right, Section 3, the power of partnerships.
You can't wire up the global retail ecosystem all by yourself, right? Transforming infrastructure like this requires heavy lifting, which is why Vusion teams up with absolute tech heavyweights like Microsoft, Qualcomm, and Cisco. This partner network is crucial because it guarantees that the physical tech in the store connects flawlessly to the cloud, allowing for seamless data crunching and operational magic.
And this strategy is locking in huge, continent-spanning deals. Over in North America, you've got Walmart dominating by deploying the EdgeSense platform. Meanwhile, in Europe, retail giant Carrefour is going all in with Vusion Cloud and the Captana AI camera system. They are essentially turning their stores into joint innovation labs to invent the future of shopping.
Which brings us to Section 4, Sotek's contrasting financial reality. Just to keep things grounded, we need to look at the broader tech hardware sector. Not everyone is having a record-breaking year. Comparing the metrics directly, the contrast is actually pretty stark. While Vusion is raking in 157 million euros in adjusted net income and throwing off robust free cash flow, you've got a company like semiconductor materials manufacturer Sotek. In the first half of their 2026 fiscal year, they reported a 67 million euro net loss, all while still pouring 49 million euros into capital expenditures. It brilliantly illustrates that just being in tech isn't an automatic ticket to profitability. You have to be positioned perfectly to solve immediate, massive bottlenecks, exactly like Vusion is doing with physical retail.
Moving right along to Section 5, decarbonizing physical retail.
So here's a really cool side effect of all this tech. It's actually a massive win for the environment. By utilizing existing stores as local fulfillment centers, companies skip building brand new, gigantic e-commerce warehouses, which saves a ton of carbon. When you consider there's already roughly one retail outlet for every 400 people globally, well, the infrastructure is literally already built. Add in their commitment to cut carbon intensity by 35%, plus using smart tech to track shelf life and drastically reduce food waste, that's a huge deal.
What this means for you and me is that the local neighborhood store you visit every week is quietly transforming into a highly optimized, low-carbon hub for the digital economy. It's perfectly blending that local community presence with top-tier global digital efficiency.
Finally, Section 6, the future of commerce.
So, the foundation is laid, but where do we go from here? Vusion is confidently projecting 15 to 20% revenue growth for 2026, driven heavily by an expected 40% jump in those high-margin value-added services. They are planning to deploy over 150,000 AI cameras this year alone. And with their Vusion OX system aiming to become the new operating standard for the Internet of Things, the digitalization of the physical shelf is accelerating, not slowing down.
So the physical store is definitely far from dead. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. The next time you're wandering down a grocery aisle, maybe look a little closer at the shelves around you and ask yourself, is your local grocery store already using AI to track and optimize your shopping habits? See you next time.